The real revolutionary breakthrough of Fox has been, it's eliminated journalism. I mean, that's the thing to understand. What Fox News Channel has done is it's stripped out any notion of journalism as we've traditionally understood it from its product. There is no journalism at the Fox News Channel.
What?
Listen, cut his mic.
Listen, Chad,
starter's pistol. Let me finish.
Stop. Chad, I'm going to test if you're an honest individual.
All right.
Bodies and
I'm
the
sorry
sex
to cut you
act,
off.
and
I know we're in
it's
some
not
controversial
fair.
stuff here, but
It's
my religion
not
didn't teach
fair.
me that. But thank you very much for being here.
It's a right-wing network, and you don't want to hear this stuff.
You want to do.
Not about the kid. It's about you, Jamie. Let's go. Okay. Thank you, Jamie.
About me, I'm doing. Yes.
Good night.
I'm doing.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, sir.
Don't take your cheap little pathetic shot. I am telling you that's what
You're taking cheap little pathetic shots.
Just giving his
trying
record.
to tell you what the truth is. No, you're misrepresenting his record.
I'm telling the truth, sir. That's the truth
it.
about his record.
I understand what your position is not correct.
I'd like to hear one single...
you're on satellite radio, because you can't get on regular radio.
Paula Evans, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Bill, if you are so concerned about public figures being bad role models for children, please stop rudely interrupting your guests and telling them to shut up. Well, the shut up line has happened only once in 6 years, Miss Evans.
Well, I think that asking a student to stay in the closet in order to go to school is a lot like asking an African-American student.
Want to know what I was doing?
Shut up.
Please don't tell me to shut up.
As respect, why did you have to tell him you were an atheist if you didn't have any trouble reading the oath? Why didn't you just shut up? What Jimmy Carter should do is privately give Mr. Bush his opinion and shut up publicly. That would be best for the country.
And it is our duty as loyal Americans to shut up once the fighting begins.
Once the war against Saddam begins, we expect every American to support our military, and if they can't do that, to shut up.
All he's got in 6.5 years is that I misspoke, that I labeled a polka war to Peabody. He writes it in his book. He tries to make me out to be a liar.
No,
Hey, shut up.
No,
you had your 35 minutes. Shut up.
The techniques of odd polling and odd graphics of Democrats and weird banners in the lower third of your screen. These are all pretty sophisticated techniques, and they work in collaboration with the most genius marketing slogan in history, which is fair and balanced.
So if you're the graphics department and you can put up a liberal flip-flopper as the chyron, hey, that's great, because the next time the graphics department has a discussion with management will say, yeah, you guys have been doing a great job.
Graphics are always moving in the background. They've sort of pioneered the use of the American flag as an icon of your news broadcast.
So there's a lot of stuff that people come up with on their own, which in other news organizations, you'd never think of coming up with some of the stuff, much less even putting it on the air. But at Fox News, there's sort of you're rewarded for pushing the envelope. And if you're pushing the envelope against a Democrat and in support of a Republican, that's great. The problem comes if you try to push the envelope, or God forbid, should put in some sort of similar sort of style or approach to Republican, then you get yourself in trouble.
Probably 1999, I created the Fox News Alert. We were striving to accomplish a sense of urgency. Urgency in the sense that what was about to be delivered after the Fox News Alert was very important. Quote-unquote shocking news, specifically Columbine, and all the other important news stories of that time. But now, looking back, now that I'm not there, I find it interesting that I've seen the Fox News Alert used for stories like Bennifer, J-Lo and Ben's relationship. I mean, this compared to a school shooting, and there's really no relationship to me. And I don't understand why, based on what we originally created it for, why they would choose to use it for a story like that. Because the sound and the visual is associated, or originally was associated, with things that were much more important.
This is a Fox News Alert. A very busy day for Martha Stewart. Earlier today, she met with her parole officer.
No, they deliberately blur it, and I find it very hard to believe. There's no separation between Bill O'Reilly, the interviewer, and Bill O'Reilly with his talking points. I mean, there's just no separation at all.
Jimmy Carter is making yet another mistake, and this time, there's no excuse for it. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, another view on this.
It's very hard on Fox News to separate news from commentary because it all blends together. That's what makes it so ridiculous, that slogan, "We report, you decide," because there's no TV news channel in history that's ever reported less.
For example, a Brit Hume newscast, which is presented as a newscast, I think you see a lot of attitude and opinion both from the anchor and from the reports.
Welcome to Washington. I'm Britt Hume. There was further evidence today that President Bush's days of absorbing John Kerry's attacks without counterattack are over.
Fox blurs the line between news and commentary all over the place. We are to believe that Britt Hume is the anchor of a news outlet. He doesn't bring strong politics to it. He just happens to anchor the newscast like Peter Jennings. On Sundays, Britt Hume turns into a rather caustic right-wing pundit.
Look, this goes to Murdoch, too. He doesn't believe in objectivity. He doesn't believe, he has contempt for journalism, I think. I mean, they wanted all news to be a matter of opinion, because opinion can't be proven false. And I think that's very dangerous, because if people don't have a set of facts that they can agree on, I think it's difficult to reach a consensus on, what's correct public policy.
It wasn't so much a scripted design that promoted the off-the-cuff ad-libs that you see so often on Fox News Channel. It was sort of a reinforcement.
John Kerry is Jane Fonda with the Burberry scarf tied around his neck.
Any ad-lib that made the Democrats look stupid and made the Republicans look smart would get an attaboy, a pat on the back, a wink, or a nod.
Well, there's an old pizza expression, you've tried all the rest, now try the best. Some people say, especially on that panel there, those commissioners, that Condoleezza Rice might be the best, and we haven't heard from her publicly, at least.
Are you saying the commission's cheesy? You wouldn't say that.
No.
They're crusty on the panel? Okay.
John Kerry has Kim Jong-il on his side. Barbara Streisand? What could go wrong?
North Korea loves John Kerry.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no sense of integrity as far as having a line that can't be crossed. Not having that sort of line becomes very tempting for somebody to self-promote by crossing the line, saying something funny that you would never dare say if you were stepping back and looking at it from the sense of a journalism school and is this the right thing for journalism. Would never happen.
Other